Okay. Well, hope everyone had a good weekend. I had a great weekend, but for whatever reason, I couldn't fall asleep last night. Let's get it. Oh, it's Chad! It's Chad in the chat! Holy shit! Let's go, Chad! TikTok. Tack. It's tack. Tick-tack. Hide worked. What is this?
I got a message from Mira.
Liminal point?
Did you forget what happened on that night?
Why does this look like a Silent Hill rip?
In this city. Oh, but this place remembers. And so do I.
Oh, the main character's hot. Might be going somewhere with this. This kind of looks like a Resident Evil game. Oh! How's it going, Nigel? This looks like a Resident Evil game. Oh, damn, this looks like it might actually be kind of good.
I'll be waiting. In the place where hope turned to ash. So come and find me.
This weekend I stayed in and played Borderlands all weekend and did nothing. It was wonderful. I didn't stream. I didn't record. And I actually wanted to say that, since the two of y'all are here, that there might be some changing up to the stream times, only slightly, cause like, for whatever reason, no matter what time I seem to be going to bed, whether it be early or like for whatever reason last night where I ended up going to bed, I was in bed at like 11, but I didn't fall asleep until 1:30, cause fuck me, I guess. I don't know. Just decided that's just how it was gonna be. I'll never know why. That's why today's stream is gonna be kind of short. Cause I may not look it, but I'm dying right now. I even contemplated not even streaming today, but then I was like, nope. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna do it. Don't know why I couldn't go to sleep. I didn't drink anything crazy. Didn't have caffeine. I don't drink coffee. I don't drink caffeine. I don't know. I just could not fall asleep. I didn't have my phone. I was literally just laying there and laying there and laying there and laying there. And then I checked my phone because like the new thing for me is I'm going to try and not set an alarm so that way I get all the rest that I need and I'll wake up naturally, right? That was going to be the thing that I was going to start this week, which means that the stream may or may not start a little later than 8. Because, like, I'm going to be honest, boys, I'm fucking tired. I've been tired this past 2 weeks, and I've been telling myself, why am I killing myself? I don't need to. I don't usually sleep in past 8 o'clock anyway. I can't seem to get to stay up past, to sleep past 8. So, like, why am I setting an alarm? Why am I killing myself? It doesn't make no sense. And it doesn't help the streams out either. It doesn't help the streams, man. Like, I get up and I'm like, oh, hi guys, how's it going? I'm so tired. But what's even crazier is I woke up at 6 a.m. yesterday. And I didn't fall back. Wasn't able to get to sleep until like 1:30. I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't know. It's weird. Yeah, but like for me, like most of my day up until like 5 is eaten up by YouTube. And then like once I'm done with that, then I usually have to like do like some extra stuff after that. Like, I don't know, like doing some like dishes or like miscellaneous chores around the apartment. And then that usually takes me until about like 6, like maybe an hour or so. And by then, like, I get the day is over, but I want to sit down and, like, do something, you know? Like, I usually been playing Borderlands. But, yeah. But, yeah, that was going to be the thing that I was going to change up, but I ended up having to set an alarm this morning, because I was like, there's no fucking way I'm not going to sleep past 8 o'clock today. So, yeah, I had to roll my ass out of bed at 7 a.m., and I don't know what the fuck, dude. But I felt so energetic yesterday. It was so weird.
Mira.
Liminal point. But the new stream time is gonna be like between like 8 and like 9. It's definitely still gonna be that for sure. Oh shit! That was a deep yawn. I am shocked they are still adding this stuff to Dragon Ball Z. I mean, to Minecraft. That's right. That's right. Dragon Ball Z Minecraft add-on, boys! Let's go! Man, them mods, their modding community is insane. What in the fuck is that? Whew. Shit. Damn, look at that combat. Oh, that's cool. That's really cool. Whoa! Bro went Super Saiyan. Yo! And you know what's crazy? Is that, oh my god, holy shit. Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on. Damn! Yakuza's combat has always been fun like this. It's always got some new spin on it. Like, every game has its own combat style. But, like, it's so very similar to, like, the same, you know? But they add, like, new level up, new, like, power-ups and stuff, and, like, new different types of, like, fighting styles. It's so fun, dude. If you have never played a Yakuza game, sit down and play the first, Kawami, and I guarantee you, you'll be hooked. You will absolutely be hooked into the Yakuza franchise. You'll want to play them all, and they're all so good. I don't think I have played a single Yakuza game out of, like, the 10 that exist that I have hated. I love all the Yakuza games. Mega Bonk! The new YouTuber click. Oh. I think it's coming to PlayStation. You can ride the sword? Wait a minute. What? Since when could you ride the sword?
Oh my god, dude.
You know what? Oh shit! Hold on, wait. Oh wait. You know what's crazy is I can't even talk shit about this game looking like crap because everybody under the fucking sun that is a content creator is playing this game. Everybody is playing this game. Here we go. Ah, no.
Welcome back, park managers. In this module, we'll be exploring your role as manager and taking a look at the different staff here to help you oversee your parks.
That was another thing that I was gonna say. We're gonna finish these videos off, and I'm calling the stream, bro. I'm not doing anybody any justice by being on stream right now. I feel like shit, bro. I'm gonna have to take some Tylenol.
Manage,
I
you'll
can
need to
feel a
rely
headache
on
coming
several
on.
teams to help keep an eye on things.
We're off to a bumpy Monday. It's a bumpy Monday, but we had a good weekend. What'd you guys do this weekend? Late last night watching the show on Netflix. It was interesting. Yeah. What show did you watch? I finished Alien Earth. You know, we'll rewatch this and give this the benefit of the doubt. I'm probably gonna get this game at some point. I'll play it off stream. I watched Alien Earth. I didn't think it was that good. I thought it was okay. The audience scores for it are terrible. To me, like, without giving any spoilers, if you wanted to watch it, I feel like some of the stuff in it has already been in comic books that I have read. So, like, some of it, if you've read any of the comics, won't surprise you. But, like, overall, I didn't think the story was that compelling. There was 1 or 2 episodes of the show that I was like, oh, this is good. Where it talked about like what happened to the crew prior to the accident. That was pretty good. But like, I don't know, it's weird. It's a weird show. Arma. What's Arma? Arma. Committed it. What the hell did you do, Chad? Jesus. A war crime in game? ARMA. Oh. Oh, it's like a first person shooter game. Oh, that looks kind of like Battlefield a little bit. That game looks fun. Best experience ever. Went Saturday to sell. It was a terrible day to try and sell. We left, got some beers and barbecue. Dude, that sounds so good. And me and my wife got messed up and went to bed. Did some chores yesterday. Yeah. Yeah, nope. On Friday, I was like, nope, I'm not doing anything this weekend. I made the videos for the weekend and had a rather nice laid back weekend. I'm trying to de-stress in my life. I'm trying to as much as possible. And then I had this epiphany on Saturday. I was like, I bet if I stop setting my alarm to wake up so early and I let my body get the rest that it needs, I'll naturally wake up and like be good to go. Honestly. And I think that's what's going to be best. Which is like if I worked a normal job, like if I was still worked at the fire department, I could function just fine because I'm doing physical labor. But like at a job where I'm sitting behind this desk and I've got to have like a certain level of energy in order to put on like a performance style theme, it just ain't happening. It ain't happening, Captain. I'm just hurting myself by doing it. And I've kind of started to come to that realization as I'm progressively like getting more and more acquainted with what I'm doing. And I'm just like, nope, we're going to need more rest. I am fucking out of it today. I am tired. A lot of tea. Hooray, a lot of tea. Huh? Oh, my fiance says hi, chat. But yeah. Well, we are. I am gonna go to bed, but I don't have any content posted for today, and I gotta stay in the good graces of YouTube's algorithm. So I am obviously setting up for the immediate return on Tuesday. And in order for me to do that, I need to get these videos. You know what I'm saying?
Welcome back, park managers. In this module, we'll be exploring your role as manager and taking a look at the different staff here to help you oversee your parks. With an entire park to manage.
I wouldn't have really talked about being so tired, but like I was like, I should say something because like if I'm gonna change up, a little bit of the tweaked time, I guess if I'm tweaking the time a little because I'm sleeping in just a tad bit later, it takes me a little bit longer in the morning to get ready. I should say something. So yeah, the plan is to still go live by 8 or 8:30. But depends on when I wake up. Obviously, hopefully, it would be before 8. Ideally, I'm probably going to set an alarm for at least 8, but getting up at 7 is like, it's killing me.
You'll need to rely on several teams to help keep an eye on things.
But I don't think I've been able to sleep past 8 o'clock in over 2 years.
Maintenance teams, mobile veterinary units, rangers, and capture teams work on the day-to-day tasks so you can focus on the bigger picture. The maintenance team will fix anything that's broken
That's
or degraded,
crazy looking.
which does happen over time, especially in some of our less forgiving locations. They'll also refuel.
Yo, he said my wife wants to go camping this weekend, so I don't I so don't want to go. But she said she gonna go with my son by themselves and the dog. Eventually I will give in because I'm obligated. That's funny.
Restock. Just assign your team to maintenance.
I wouldn't even call it an obligation. You know you ain't got the heart to say no, bro. Come on. You know you ain't got it in you. Yo, enjoy the time with your son while you got it, bro, cause like, man, he gonna grow up fast. The way time been flying around this mo, dude, he's gonna be like up out of your house. Well, I don't know. I mean, I say that. I mean, there's a good chance that by the time you guys are going into diapers, he's probably still gonna be in there, cause like, you know, rent and everything, but still.
Post, and they'll keep on top of things. Then we have the Mobile Veterinary Unit, or MVU.
That's fun.
They're based in
Oh, can you shoot is there like a first-person mode to this game?
medical facility. Assign them to a ranger post, and they'll regularly check in on any nearby dinosaurs, running scans, and treating them for any ailments.
We'll make a deal with them. Be like, I'll go, but you guys gotta... Because, like, if there's one thing I've learned in the fire service is that everything goes faster with teamwork. So, like, just be like, I'll go, but, you know, I want some help cleaning the truck after.
Rangers work out of the response facility and will routinely check on your dinosaur's well-being, letting you know if there's any comfort issues with their enclosures. Now, you can't keep an eye on everything all at once, which is why we've got security cameras to keep watch while you work on the big stuff. You can assign capture teams to these, so they act immediately if a dinosaur...
That looks so cool to me. I don't know why.
You can assign capture teams...
This looks so cool to me. It makes no sense. Because, like, all the water would just definitely drain out of into here. So this makes no sense, unless it's fake. This obviously would probably be fake, right? But it looks so cool. Oh, what's on Friday? Is there a holiday on Friday? How they have Friday off? What's going on Friday?
Teams to these, so they act immediately if a dinosaur is spotted out of its enclosure, which shouldn't happen, but just in case.
That looks so pretty, dude.
Shouldn't happen, but just in case.
That's so pretty. Yo, that is so pretty. What the hell's going on here? Why is this like under the water?
Having a strong team around you, your parks will thrive. And it's not long until you'll have your first project. With your training...
That looks so cool. I am not a park management person, but I love the colors in this game. It doesn't look fake. I think that's why I'm so, like, interested in this game. As a lot of these park management games, they look fake. This looks more realistic. It looks like something I'd actually play, and I probably will end up playing this. It looks so good if I can get away from my Borderlands 4 addiction. I ended up making another new character. I cannot put Borderlands 4 down. I can't do it. Like, I just found out yesterday that there are, like, shiny adaptations of legendary guns, and I'm like, what? No way. Like Pokemon? You gotta catch them all, man.
Now complete, you'll be stepping into your official role on October 21st. Good luck, park managers.
That looks so good. That's gonna be so fun. All right, boys. A lot has happened. These are all going to be Asmongold videos. I'm sorry in advance. He covers so many of these good topics that I just can't pass up. I can't do it. We're gonna watch a few of these, and then we're gonna call it. I ain't gonna lie. Gonna have to be an early weekend. I mean, early Monday. Whew. Man, I am just cooked. I'm cooked, boys. I'm cooked. Okay.
This is the video where Miramar Martinez, aka La Maggie, rammed a white DHS vehicle who had their emergency.
So apparently they ambushed ICE agents at some point, and that was the thing.
Lights on. Another DHS black SUV then attempts to ram Miramar's SUV from behind. So you've got somebody that's been going crazy on social media, and this is what happens. She's in the black SUV.
Oh my.
Okay. I don't know what this music is. I don't really know why.
So I guess that's a police car?
Use this music. Oh my
Holy God.
God. What the hell is going on? Look at that.
Jesus.
She's crashing out, literally. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Why are there so many stupid, obnoxious women that go to these places and cause problems like this? The reason why it happens is that I think that society in general is more permissive with women that are violent or aggressive like this. And so because of that, they never really get any pushback anywhere else. They finally go over to the police and they realize the law doesn't work like being right on Twitter does. Because I was shocked that they didn't have a video.
I think it's a bigger... I think he's right to an extent, but I think he's wrong. And let me explain why. I think that these women that do this in these states, they know that the likelihood of them being put in jail for their first offense for an unreasonable amount of time is very low. That's why they do this. Because they haven't done something like this prior. They haven't really committed any crimes, and now that they're up in age and they commit something like this, the likelihood of them going to jail and staying in jail is very, very low. That's why they do this. And they know it. Especially with these states and these laws that are not enforced. How much do you want to make a bet she was out before noon?
This yesterday.
And this is going to come up later because I got a video pulled up that's going to further... I got a video that's coming up that's going to make your blood boil. It's going to make your blood boil, so be warned. I heard it yesterday, and I was so happy whenever I woke up this morning and he made a video on it, because my blood was boiling, boys. Like, I was sitting there, and I was fuming playing Borderlands yesterday, dude. I was fuming. I had to keep my trap shut because I was going to say some nasty shit.
It's like, is this really true? Is this real? And here's the issue.
It's bad.
Is that the girl that did this was posting crazy shit on the internet before she did this. So it's the exact same problem that I said was going to...
Thank you, federal law enforcement, for charging this. Oh. Beautiful. Call it what it is. Domestic terrorism.
Happen, and they haven't been addressing it, and now you've got them trying to run these people over. I said this was a problem. I said it. I've kept saying it over and over and over, and as always...
Them doing this stuff online where they're sitting here saying that they're going to do stuff, then they go out and do it, they're going to end up making people lose rights on online social media. In the UK, if you make a post, like a guy made a post that said, fuck Antifa, or not, I'm so sorry. He did not say that. He said, fuck Palestine, fuck Israel. And the UK police showed up to his house a month later and arrested him. That's going to be our future, boys. If they keep doing this, if they keep antagonizing and calling to violence on these social media platforms, you will have the FBI knocking at your door for making comments like this. If they keep posting this stuff where they're going to go out and do things and impact federal agents, they will pass new laws and remove old ones that will further encroach upon American rights because they don't know how to stay off their goddamn phone and stay away from all the craziness that's going on. Go get a job. Go get some exercise. Take your mind off it. Put your cell phone down. You're not a goddamn weekend warrior. You're a normal person that needs to go out and find something else to do with your time than getting on social media and calling for violence and then going out and doing it. Go find something else to do because you're not helping anybody.
Nobody
You're going to ruin it for the rest of the Americans. Stop doing this.
wanted to listen.
Okay, here we go. Very concerning. Former detective calls out Chicago PD for mishandling anti-ICE protests. See, this is getting crazy.
Intense protests in Chicago after border agents shot an armed woman Saturday morning. DHS says agents acted in self-defense after she rammed them with her car. A hospital has released her into FBI custody. Christina Coleman.
She should be thankful she's alive. She should. Did you know that in the state of Texas, with the stand your ground laws that we have, if you were to use your car like a battering ram, and you were to let's say I'm driving, and I have my firearm in my, like, I usually have my firearm right here in my and it's got a bullet and it doesn't have a safety. I do not have my gun does not have a safety. One of the two guns that I have do not have safeties, and it has hollow points. I have my gun right here, and it's the one without the safety in the like pocket thing. If someone T-bones me and then proceeds to back up and T-bone me and back up and T-bone me, I have the full right in the state of Texas to neutralize that threat and not even care. Your vehicle is considered a deadly weapon when you start using it like that. She should be thanking her lucky stars she is still alive. Those agents could have shot and killed her, and nothing would have come of it. Do I think it's okay? No. But at the same time, if you want to throw rocks, you want to like shoot at police officers, you want to use your car like a battering ram to commit death to a police officer, to a peacekeeper, you've lost anything you're getting from me. I was a first responder. There's nothing more disgusting than somebody who wants to take American lives and the lives of peacekeepers. Especially like police and firefighters and EMTs and paramedics. They're there to help you for the most part. Now, you get some bad apples on that tree. Everyone has them. Even the fire department. Even the fire department. I promise you. But, like, and nobody deserves to be run over. Nobody deserves to be shot. But if you want to sit there and you want to throw stones at a bear and the bear fucking mauls you and eats you, what the hell were you expecting?
Hi, Mike. Yeah, things also got heated last night between anti-ICE protesters and federal agents in the Brighton Park neighborhood of Chicago last night. Take a look at this disturbing video.
That's right. You're not the Punisher. You can't take things into your own hands and do this vigilante justice crap. Because it's not vigilante justice. You're going against the you're going against federal agents. You're a dumbass. Stop doing it, man. You're dumb. And I'm going to stick with Asmon when I say this. If you want to throw rocks at federal agents and police officers, and they shoot and kill you, you had it coming. You can kill people if a rock hits you in the face, if it hits you in the head. You can easily die. You can have a brain bleed. You can have a coup or a counter coup where your brain hits the front of your skull and then bounces and hits the back of your skull. You can have so much happen by throwing rocks at police officers. Throwing rocks and bricks is not freedom of speech. It's assault. And it's malicious intent as well. So, like, no. And I ain't gonna lie, you don't even necessarily have to arm these police officers with lethal guns. You can give them shotguns that have beanbag systems in them. Those damn things will fuck you right up. I've seen what beanbags can do to people because we had to cover a little bit in my academy. Well, not the academy, in my EMT training. Being shot with a beanbag from a shotgun, it fucking sucks. It can break ribs. Like, sometimes that's all it takes. I don't advocate for death, but whenever you are trying to defend yourself against somebody that's throwing rocks with the intention of hurting you, or using a car to commit some sort of vehicular manslaughter, I do believe in self-defense, 100%. 100%.
On the ground there says anti-ICE protesters were throwing objects at ICE agents. And
the minute you start throwing objects at agents, you got to clear that up immediately. Don't even let that get any worse. Like, bring in the riot police, clear it out. Because once you start throwing stuff, once you start setting stuff on fire, you're no longer peacefully protesting, you're rioting, period. Get them out. And that's what they did too.
Tear gas to break up the violent crowd. ICBP and FBI agents were all at the scene, and at one point, anti-ICE protesters attempted to block a major roadway in Broadview, Illinois. State troopers made several arrests after that incident. Also, federal authorities say Border Patrol law enforcement officers were...
You know, you can't do any of that in Florida. You know why you can't do any of that in Florida? Because if you're in a mob and you start hitting a vehicle that's trying to get through and they run your dumb ass over, nothing happens to the driver. You should be able to run over people in a mob that are blocking a road. You should be protected federally. You know why? Because if you have kids in your car, if you are by yourself and, you know, they start trying to flip your vehicle over, or they start rocking or breaking in your windows, you should have every right to hit and run over as many of those people as it takes to get out of that. Because it's fucking terrifying. It's scary. And any normal human being, any normal person in that just wants to work their 9 to 5 and go home and eat their ramen noodles, shouldn't have to deal with that, first and foremost. And secondly, isn't going to know how to handle that. Period. You should be protected at a federal level if a riot that is incited and doing violent things decides to target your vehicle when you're trying to get by on a roadway. What else are you supposed to do? Get out so they can fucking peck you to death? Fuck that. People have been damn near killed. I mean, look at Big Balls, the guy that works in the government, that worked with Doge. A mob messed him up.
Ambushed by domestic terrorists who rammed federal agents with their vehicles and boxed them in with their cars the night before in Broadview, Illinois, that same area where anti-ICE protesters have been gathering for weeks now. Take a look at this. DHS says this woman, Miramar Martinez, was driving one of the vehicles. They say she was armed with a semi-automatic weapon and has a history of doxing federal agents. And authorities identified this man that you see there as Anthony Ian Santos Ruiz. They say he was a driver of another vehicle in this incident. DHS said, quote, the scene became increasingly violent as more domestic terrorists gathered and began...
See, what they should do is they should detain these people that do this until somebody else takes office and they decide what they want to do with them. Detain them for, like, the majority, like, for the rest of Trump's term Like, as long as they're going to be doing, like, deportations and ICE stuff, they should just detain these people indefinitely if they have to. Charge them with something. Keep them off the street so they don't have another... Like, what was she going to do with a semi-automatic weapon? That's like that dude that got released after he was making bombs. Like, why the hell would you want someone like that in society trying to attack peacekeepers? No, dude.
Smoke, gas, rocks, and bottles at DHS.
Oh, but ICE agents aren't peacekeepers. They are. They're acting federal agents right now. You're stupid.
Enforcement. Another domestic terrorist was arrested for assaulting CBP at the scene. Extremely dangerous. Take a listen.
A 10-car caravan followed and stalked our agents and then circled them in and pinned them down. They had to shoot their way out of their cars in order to get to safety. So we do have some bounties that have been released on the heads of our agents, $10,000 to kill them, and they're naming specific agents.
Good God. And they wonder why these people have face masks between the doxing and now they've got actual hit lists out on these people. Jesus Christ. What are we in a third world country? Don't answer that.
Comes days after violent clashes between anti-ICE protesters and federal law enforcement outside of the ICE facility in Broadview, Illinois. It seems like it's happening there night after night. Yesterday, Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker said he was notified that the Trump administration intends to federalize 300 members of the National Guard, a move he strongly opposes. Pritzker said, quote, "The Trump administration's Department of War gave me an ultimatum. Call up your troops or we will. It is absolutely outrageous and un-American to demand a governor send military troops within our own borders and against our will." So Pritzker maintains there's no need for military troops on the ground in Illinois, and he says that he will not call up the National Guard. And in Oregon, where there's been violent protests outside of the ICE facility in
Again, if the governors of these places, these cities, they don't want to take any responsibility, they don't want to help out federal agents, drive down to their fucking wherever they're sitting, knock down the door with a battering ram, and arrest them and charge them at the federal level for something. I don't care. Charge them with something. As I know that you can't charge them with treason unless they're doing it for like a foreign government that isn't the U.S. government. And if that's the case, they need to maybe dig into some financials, figure out where they're getting paid. Maybe there is some kind of thing there, but they need to charge them with something, get them out of office. They're clearly unfit.
For days now, in response to all of that, the Trump administration announced that 200 Oregon National Guard troops would be federalized to protect federal property. But in a ruling yesterday, a federal judge in Oregon temporarily blocked the Trump administration from doing that. Well, the Trump administration is already fighting the judge's decision. They filed a notice of appeal to the 9th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals late yesterday, so we will see how that all plays out. Mike?
Christina Coleman, thanks very much. Now let's bring in Fox News contributor and defense attorney.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy. That's actually crazy. This one. So, this is what got my blood boiling yesterday. We're probably gonna watch this whole video. It's a good video, fantastic video. W. Asmongold for covering this. That's one of the reasons why I typically stick to his videos, is because he's able to get all the information from his social medias and stick it together in one video, as opposed for me hunting it down. It saves me a lot of time and effort. And it also allows me to put my opinions and my thoughts into what's going on. What this man's about to say is very graphic. It's very sad, and it will make you angry. Whenever you hear a governor saying, well, we need to try and make the prison systems lower in their numbers, and we do that by doing some kind of weird order that allows us to release certain types of convicts or certain types of offenders back onto the street. I want you to remember this and watch this.
I'm just curious. Here's what I need you to do.
Okay.
When I tell you this story, think about your kids. Think about your child coming home from a night out with their friends.
All right.
Laying down, going to sleep. Feeling somebody come in the room and wake them. And drag her out of bed, naked, forced on her knees, with her hands over her head.
Oh, God.
Begging for her life. begging for her hero, her father, me, that couldn't be there. She was 5'3". She weighed 115 pounds.
Yeah.
Bang! Dead.
They
Gone.
shot her randomly? The
Why?
fuck are that for?
Because Alexander Devontae Dickey, who was arrested 39 goddamn times.
Of course.
30. Why would you ever? And it's not just arrests. He has 20 felonies. They treated this guy like a catch and release. They knew exactly where he was, too, whenever they went to get him for the murder. Why would you release somebody that went out and did something 23 times? The blatant disregard for the general public and these politicians, these governors, advocating for the release of these sick individuals that sit here and commit 23 felonies. He was arrested over 30 times with 23 felonies. Is outrageous. And it's not an isolated event. This is going on constantly. The mental gymnastics you have to disregard the people that do right by society, that go and work their job, that go home, that just want to live peacefully, to let some sicko freak out after 23 felonies is outrageous.
9 arrests. What the fuck is going on? Really? This is how does this happen? Why do we live like this? And this is remember what I was saying before about the 2%? Did you know that the majority of the violent crime that's committed in this country is by only 1% of the population? It's like 67 or something like that percent of all violent crime as a just like a fucking just overall number is committed by just simply 1% of the population.
Mm-hmm. And I thought he was crazy. I still don't know if I fully agree with locking up the 1%, but I saw this video and I had more of a respect for his want to lock up 2% of all America. Because a lot of people do commit crimes on the daily. They just don't get caught. That's the thing. Is like, when they get caught, it's usually because they've done it for so long that it's equated to a felony. But that doesn't mean they're not doing it.
25 felonies.
Oh, 25 felonies.
Was
Ooh.
on the street. How about that?
Not so good.
How good are we doing for our family? How good are you doing for your kids? He should have been in jail for over 140 years for all the crimes he committed. You know how much time he spent in prison?
0
2 years.
A little over 600 days in 10 years. He's only...
That is insane. That's crazy. That's fucking crazy.
30
I was right.
years old.
Jesus.
He was committing 2.65...
Wait, so he's 30 years old and he's been arrested 39 times?
Oh, he's got an arrest a year. Look at that. Maybe a little bit. No.
Oh my God.
That's crazy. That's insanity.
crimes a year. Since he was 15 years old.
What the fuck's wrong with the judiciary? The problem is that people prioritize people changing. The priority in the justice system in a lot of cases is about the best interest of the criminal rather than the best interest of society. And
welcome,
I think
welcome, EMEFC? It kind of looks like McAfee, but it's not. EMEFC? Kind kind of looks like McPhee, that like anti the oh my god, the antivirus McPhee or whatever
version of morality and ethics has led to releasing a lot of these career criminals and violent people into the wild again, and then allowing everybody else to be their victims because of some form of performative empathy. Like, oh, well, people can change. People can change. Well,
some people can't. A lot of people can't change. You can always give somebody the benefit of the doubt, but at a certain point, you have to stop catering to that, and you have to start thinking about the people that can be hurt in the process of you with that mentality. You have to stop thinking about the individual and start thinking about society as a whole. You have to. Because whenever you do this, you put these dangerous individuals back out into society, and they go and commit something like this. People like this, the system has failed them. This man has done nothing wrong. I mean, sure, he probably got out, got drunk. Maybe he has a DUI on record. Maybe he did his thing. Maybe he's got something. Who knows? Maybe he stole something once. But when you got somebody with 25 felonies, come on, man. The laws aren't there to protect these criminals. It's there to protect the people that are going out trying to live their lives peacefully. That's who it's there to protect.
what if they don't? Who bears the consequences when a person like this doesn't change? Well, his daughter bears the consequences and not them. And so
I guarantee you this was life altering for him. Because, like, he can't just continue going about his life like everything's normal because his daughter was taken from him. Nothing can be the same for him. That's life altering because somebody else thought that that person could change with 25 felonies and 30 arrests.
That's really where the problem is. It's this emotional inversion of values. And I think that people like this man speaking out about this is actually incredibly important because it goes to show
I think Asmon is absolutely right. They need to make more people like this. They're people that have had this happen to them. There needs to be a fund set aside for them specifically so they could go around the country and talk about what happened and ask these senators and these governors what they could do to change this for them. Because these are the people that have gone through the ringer and they know full well what a failing system looks like. And I think that their opinion, these people's opinion who have dealt with this failing system, their opinion matters more than most Americans, if I'm being quite frank. Because they're the ones that are having to deal with it the most. He has every right to be as angry as he is.
Selfishness of this type of empathy. It's narcissistic, performative empathy that basically puts other people in danger in order for these people to feel like they're doing the right thing.
And you know what's even crazier is that people that do that, they never have to cash the check. They're never the ones that actually have to deal with these people when they're released. You know why? Because they're usually on a big high horse in some privileged white community that's gated, that is completely cut off from the actual, like, where most of these people are going to be. You know why? Because most of these people that are repeat offenders like this, it's usually because they end up going back to the same situation they left when they went to jail. Even if they wanted to change, based on a lot of their circumstances, they can't. And 9 times out of 10, it's worse because they're a felon. So now they can't even find a job. Now, there are a lot of programs that allow them to get a job, but even still, a lot of them are abused because of, poor bosses or managers that usually take on felons to abuse them in some form. Like either with extra hours with no pay, or not giving them overtime like they're supposed to, or it happens a lot, and I understand that. But at the same time, if you don't want to deal with the time, then don't commit the crime. I know it's corny as shit, but like, it's the truth. If you don't want to be a felon, then don't do the crime. I've been through the ringer, and I know right from wrong. Like, I'm not gonna go out and try to rob a bank. Fuck that. I'm not gonna go sell drugs. I know there's a lot of money that could be made in it, but I'm not gonna go and do it. That's stupid. I don't want to go to jail. Fuck that.
Nobody
Trump
could
announcement
figure
soon?
out
Yeah, I'll watch it after this.
that he couldn't be rehabilitated. Well, you'd have to put him in prison to see if he could be rehabilitated.
Well, he's 39 arrests. He can't be rehabilitated.
No, I agree. I feel like after your like second or third felony, you shouldn't be allowed to be in society. Like, I think that we should bring back work camps. Like, if you take somebody's life and you think that you're just going to parole out, no. You're going to work and pay your debt to society for the rest of your life by putting cars together, or putting machines that put cars together, or putting computers together for a school, or something of the nature. You're going to work that debt off to society because you took somebody out of society that was working and doing what they were supposed to do for society. You need to pay it off, period. That's exactly how I feel. I'm tired of seeing these people that commit these violent acts of crime go into jail and sit on their ass and do nothing for hours on end. I want to see them being put to actual, like, work. I want to see these people make money for the U.S. There's so much labor in jails that could be utilized, and I strongly believe that. And they don't deserve any damn money, period. Call it what you want, but if you want to sit here and you want to commit violence and you want to kill people and you want to advocate for death and violence, and you get put into one of these, into jail, you should be forced to work. And if you don't want to work, then they should bring back whipping. That's what they do in some foreign countries. They whip you with like an actual like horse whip. Like, damn, that sounds really bad, doesn't it? Well, it's either that or solitary. I mean, I'll take solitary confinement. Put them in like a dark room with nothing but like a bed and a little shitter that's like, an 8x5 room. I'll take that.
Like, I mean, if you've been arrested 39 times, you can't be rehabilitated. It's just that simple.
I don't see how this is even excusable. I just
also,
don't.
Like, in the instance that you can, you have to do what's best for most people.
Exactly.
And it's just simply not safe and not best for most people.
If that's what you want to call it, then so be it. But you can't go around in a civilized society killing people. If slave labor is what you want to call it, then that is what it is. But is it really slave labor if you didn't buy it from anybody and it wasn't given to you? So for example, if I took someone's life and they contributed to society by paying their taxes, by having a job that made products that gave to society, and I went out and took their life, that is a contributing member of society that can no longer contribute to the rest of us, that can no longer contribute to the government. I should be forced to pay that back. Committing crime is bad. The laws are in place to deter you from committing the crime. Jails are in place even still more to deter you from committing the crime. If you don't want to go to jail and work off your debt to society, don't do the fucking crime. It's simple. How hard is it to not kill? Like, I have plenty of guns in my apartment. I've never fucking shot anybody. What, the goddamn gun doesn't just get up and grow legs and fucking walk around like a Theodore? Like, come on.
To have, like, any jury and any judge, if there's...
It happens all the time. False accusations happen all the time, and I get that. But with our advancements in DNA, we've been able to take people off of death row that we've never been able to do before. Like, it happens all the time. Like, people go to jail for the wrong reasons all the time. It happens. It sucks. I'm not saying, oh, it's great. No, it sucks. It happens, and it's fucking awful. People lose their lives because of something they didn't even do, and it sucks. But at the same time, the government has not even a moral, it has a high ground, a place of, it's not morality, it's not a standard either, I'm sorry, I'm working on like 4 hours of sleep of like, what is it called? It's a responsibility to protect its citizens, not these sickos that get out and kill people. It's the government's responsibility to protect its taxpayers who go to work and work for society. That's its responsibility, not to these people that get out after 23 or 24 felonies and go and kill somebody. That's not what the government is for. It is to put people like that away and keep them away from the general population. That's what it's for.
Anybody like this, if you're saying, oh, well, what if they change?
That's right.
Do you
you
want
got
this person
responsibility
to live next door to you? Probably not.
Yeah, like, think about that. Like what he just said. Like, would you want...
Do you want this person to live next door to you?
Do you want somebody with 23 felonies living next door to you? Do you think that you can feel safe with your kids playing outside if you knew that, I don't know, the person that stays next to you, her son just got out of jail, and he has like 23 felonies, and one of those was attempted murder? Fuck no, I wouldn't want that guy. I wouldn't want him anywhere near me. I wouldn't want to work with him. I wouldn't want my kids outside knowing that he's in the house next to me. No, absolutely not.
Probably not. And that's the problem. Needs to get 40? Yeah, these people should be put out of their misery. Well, I think just work camps, right?
Isn't
exactly.
that the idea of prison?
Exactly.
But no.
But someone with 23
fool me once.
23 felonies, brother, you're not getting a job with 23 felonies. You're better off in jail. Any person that's hiring you for a job is going to see 23 felonies on your record, bro. You're not getting a job. I promise you, you're not. There are people right now with fucking master's degrees that can't get jobs. What the hell makes you think you're getting a job with 23 felonies? There's no way. There's no way. Let's be realistic here. You're better off in jail.
Shame on you. Fool me 39 times. Call me Joe Biden. It's funny.
I mean, you're talking about Trump. I know what you're doing. You can't fool me, fool. By the way, if you want to compare somebody that went out and killed somebody to somebody who's trying to get out of taxes, you're crazy. You can't get me with that, pal. You can't compare drug dealing, child, God only knows what. I'm not going to like say the full statement, and murder to somebody who's trying to avoid taxes. Nah. You can take that somewhere else, bro. That shit don't work here. Nice try, though. You're talking about Trump. I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's not Biden's
nice try,
fault.
though.
This has been going on for a while.
And by the way, I didn't vote for Trump. I still think he's a fucking clown. I haven't voted, and I'm 30, and I've never voted. Never will either. At least not until I see a candidate that I want to vote for. And to be quite frank, I'm tired of being told that I can choose between the lesser of two evils. They're both shit. I don't care. I'm just looking past all this far left, far right bullshit, and I'm looking and seeing what's right and wrong.
He figured it out 2 weeks before she was executed. And I haven't heard a damn word from Byron Gibson in South Carolina. Not one word. 4 months, no communication. His biggest concern was that he was pissed off about my interview and how I made him look on the Fox News channel with Trey Gowdy. How pathetic is that?
Well, I think that's very revealing. The thing that they truly care about is the optics. It's not actually about keeping people safe or doing good or using your position in order to make the world a better place. It's about using your position.
Nah, man, not me. I'm just a voice in the dark. We need more people like Asmon that get big communities that are able to do the exact same thing that I'm doing. I don't know if I'd ever want to be known like that. I'm just a voice in the dark. I'm just trying to root through all this death and chaotic bullshit that's going on in the US right now and try to pull as many people to reason as I can. As far as I'm concerned, you can send all your views over to Asmon. I have never clicked with, like, I've always kind of felt that way growing up, because I've and then I started watching Asmon. I'm gonna skip that prior thing because I just don't want to talk about it. And I just immediately clicked with him because a lot of the stuff that he was saying was exactly what I've been thinking for the longest time. Like, it just makes sense.
To advance your own personal goals and your own personal, obligations and, intentions, and then to co-opt that and push it in that direction. That's really what it's about for them. It's all about how things make them feel and how things look. Both two completely, like, amorphous fake realities that they want everybody else to live in.
We're
It's
letting
selfish.
our 22-year-old
How can they
kid-
stay in power? The reason why they stay in power is
Because people keep voting them in. Because they keep saying all the right things. But what they're doing behind the scene is completely different. It's that optics that he was just saying. He cares more about his optics because he knows he's a piece of shit. That's how you catch a lot of these people. It doesn't matter what side they're on. You can catch Republicans, you can catch Democrats. If you have the slightest little inkling, or you know that you can get a move out of somebody by saying a certain thing, you just caught them because you're saying something that they're aware of and they know, but nobody said it yet. Which means that you have them right where, like for example, this guy went on a newscast and said what happened to his daughter, then called this guy out by name. And the optics of this looks terrible. It looks awful. But what he's been doing before this happened was he would just go out and do whatever he was doing to rake in as much of that taxpayer money as possible for his own gain, including cutting prisons and stuff and letting these violent offenders out that went and did this. Because I guarantee you that's what's going on, is like all this, because what's going on is they're letting all these people out so they could start pocketing that money that would have been going to the prisons or doing something else with it. And whenever something like this happens, and you've got a dad that's this angry, ruining your optics, more and more people are going to start listening to this, and they're going to start peeling back the layers and figuring out what's really going on. Because it's fine when you only have two sets of eyes on it. You got two people. But whenever you start getting more and more and more people, it's like a page in a book. You're going to get to the back of that book, and you're going to be like, this is what's really going on. And it typically happens when these people get out of office. You start realizing what kind of shit pile they really made.
You don't vote them out. Like, this is my policy, is that I will vote for whoever will be the most draconian, the most aggressive, and the most brutal on these people. That should be one of the main policies to go with.
I agree. I think that if you've got 23 felonies, number one, you shouldn't be out in the general population. And number two, you should be doing something other than sitting down and collecting 3 squares or 2 squared meals a day. Like, that ain't going to cut it.
And if you do that, then it goes away. But the problem is that a lot of voters are afraid of doing that because it sounds bad. And that goes back to why I said that, a lot of people are controlled with emotion. Dehumanize them? Well, they're not humans, really. I mean, if you
think somebody cares about your family, if they're letting criminals out that did this to his daughter, you're stupid. You're dumb. That's all I got to say to you. If you think that for 1 second they gave a shit about how you think and feel and your safety, they will sell you. They've sold your data for $1. Okay, buddy? They don't care about you. You got to get these people out of here that don't care. Whenever you hear a candidate say that they want to lower the number of inmates in prisons, you cannot vote that person in. That's a bad idea. You know why? Because all they're going to do is release violent offenders. That's how you get the number down. You release these people that are supposed to be getting rehabilitated in prison out into the general society and the general population. Well, guess what's going to happen? They're going to reoffend because that's what happens.
Really, I mean, you
Like,
think about
come
this.
on,
If
let's
a person
put
can't
some, like,
control themselves
God
39
damn.
times and they get arrested. What's the difference really between them and a dog? You can
Right?
train
They're a
a
fucking
dog better
animal.
than that. So whenever you really think about it, these people aren't animals because at least you can train animals. They're worse than animals.
That's right. Like I could train a ferret to shake, and it took me like a week. Like, come on. You could shake my hand.
You're right that I don't really treat them like people. I don't.
Why should you?
No, absolutely not. Because
Only an animal fucking kills a child. That's not a person. That's an animal.
doing so, I put other people in danger.
Visiting friends, it's all she ever wanted to do was visit friends. And she literally was executed while on her knees,
Yeah, it's just great.
begging for
Well,
her
the
life.
person that did this is just a psycho, right? Just a psycho, like, crazy person, like, criminal, right? And it's really
Yeah.
pretty simple.
Obviously.
Her name's Logan Federico, not Irina.
Ooh.
And you will not forget her. I promise you.
Nope.
You will be sick and tired of my face and my voice until this gets fixed.
Don't say
I will
that.
fight until my last breath for my daughter.
That's your only warning.
You need to fight for the rest of our children.
He's right.
The rest of the
Drago
innocent.
710.
Absolutely.
And
Don't say
stop
that.
protecting the people that keep taking
Do it
them
again
from
and I
us.
will remove
Yeah,
you from the
please.
channel. You will not be able to see it.
You have the power. We put you in the power to do what you have to do.
And it's more important for them to use their power to make themselves feel good and to have good optics than to actually keep their constituents and the people that they represent safe. That's what's more important to them.
We're asking you, we're begging you all to stop this. 39 crimes in 10 years.
That's insane.
25 felonies. Can anybody here explain to me, well, how possibly he could be on the street?
Exactly.
You know there's nobody in that room that could even remotely answer that. That's so inexcusable and it's so disgusting that's even I just
How does this happen? Like, yeah, take me through the last, probably 15 years of this guy. How did this happen?
Possibly be on the street. How is it possible?
Outrageous.
it is.
Crazy.
I could sit down in a room and I could explain the whole process of how it failed, how South Carolina failed, Logan. Okay? How lack of communication.
Yep.
What y'all did, you woke up a beast
Bro, he is shaking. He's so pissed.
and you
Yep.
pissed off the wrong
Yeah, but in
guy.
May? Why you just
Because
hear
I'm
about
going to
this?
put
I
it
don't
out
know.
there. And I'm not going to be quiet until somebody helps. Logan deserves to be heard. Everyone on this panel
No,
deserves
people are advocating, just go kill the guy as a vigilante thing. Like, no, killing somebody through vigilante justice, like, I would.
It solves nothing. It just doesn't. This is how you solve problems that you have in your community. He got the guy in jail, and now he is going and around the country, and he's calling out these shit people. He's letting his voice be known not with violence, but with answers. He wants answers as to why the system that is there, that everyone is paying for, is failing its community. And he has the right to know. He's not calling for violence. He's not getting on Reddit and Twitter, and he's not saying, oh, we gotta go hurt and kill people. No. He's doing the right way. He's doing it the democracy. Sorry, not the democratic. He's doing it the way a democracy is supposed to be done. You can't do that with all these people that are protesting because they're just going to sit there and say the stupidest shit and they're going to get embarrassed in front of everybody because that's what was happening whenever they were getting called up to talk during the I think it was the Senate or somebody. They were sitting there listening to all these crazy people wearing all this crazy stuff talk for hours, and it's just nonsense.
I mean, if
But this has an actual reason for it. It's
want Trump to pardon him. But that being said, I also that's not a solution. Like, basically, whenever you have a factory that basically creates these people, like, getting rid of one of the cookies that comes out of that factory doesn't stop the whole batch. You want to shut down the factory. You want to stop the system.
Yep.
You want to stop the source of it happening rather than just one instance of it happening.
Stop putting a Band-Aid on it and fix it all together. Exactly.
We heard.
Vigilantes a Band-Aid?
And
yeah,
we will.
I don't believe in that. It's a mistake.
Trust me.
Vigilantism is not the answer to this. What this man is doing is completely based in what everyone who has a problem with any administration, with anything that's going on in their community should be doing. 100%. If you have a problem with it, take your weekend and go to these meetings, these town hall meetings, go to these places, get in contact with the media.
My daughter laid on the floor for 7 hours before somebody in that house recognized that something was wrong.
Yeah, I bet.
And that career criminal, an hour later, went on a spending spree with her debit card.
Yeah, he's playing Grand
When they
Theft Auto.
saw his face on a video, they didn't have to do a check. He was arrested so many times they knew
They just knew who it was.
Yep. That's the sick part. They knew who it was.
Oh, it's Fred. Yep, yeah, of course.
he was.
It's one of the
They knew
regulars.
exactly where to go get him.
Yeah. The dude shot and killed somebody. Stole the credit card, went on a spending spree, and then went back to his house and acted like it never happened. Do you think that you could rehabilitate somebody like that? You think that's possible? For some odd reason, someone 25 felonies later thought that it was possible. Sure does make you wonder, though, doesn't it?
Just went to his house.
Pathetic.
It is.
Absolutely pathetic that I'm here today. Thank you for your time.
Fucking based. Absolutely fucking unfathomably, unbelievably,
Based.
completely fucking based.
I
am so happy to see this. And
I heard that yesterday, and my blood was boiling, bro.
I'm glad that people are finally waking up to the side effects of this type of empathy. Let me go back over here. When an illegal alien goes to the emergency room, who's paying for it? The American. What is this?
And it is an undisputed fact. A fact. And it is an undisputed fact. A fact that under the Biden administration, illegal aliens were absolutely receiving taxpayer-funded healthcare benefits. In fact, in fiscal year 2024, Medicaid costs for emergency services for illegal immigrants skyrocketed by 142% from the previous year to $9.1 billion. That's $9.1 billion taxpayer.
I've done rides on the box truck during my EMT where, so like whenever I went out, cause I was a firefighter EMT, I did actually work as a firefighter EMT for a little bit. Whenever I went to college and I did my EMT, this was 5 years ago now. It was right around a little bit after COVID, but not too crazy. It was during Biden's administration. Well, now, I can speak on this because I know. Because whenever I rode around on the box truck as part of the EMT program, because you have to ride, I think three or four separate times, you have to go and actually pick up a shift at a an ambulance station, or my God, I can't even. I guess yeah, it's like a ride. It's not a ride along. It's where you learn the skills as you're doing college, and you have to show the paramedic. And I ended up riding around with two paramedics. I think it's like that on purpose, but you have to show the paramedics that you're competent enough to do your job. Obviously, you should, because you're supposed to have someone's life in your hands. And all three of those times, anytime we went to the hospital, there were always lines in the back from the ambulance drop off. Like, and I always thought it was very concerning, because like we would get them on the, they were on the gurney, or not the gurney, but the stretcher. We'd get them off the truck, and then we'd reel them in, right? And then we'd end up having to stand there for like 30 minutes inside the facility. And I was always like, what the hell is going on? Why is it and we have like some messed up people. Like, they were pretty quick to get the traumas, but like, some of them were having like heart problems and stuff like that. We ended up having to wait like a while out of service because we couldn't get the stretcher back because we were just waiting. And usually there would be like 2 or 3 people that we'd line up against the wall, and there'd be like 2 or 3 other like trucks there with people in the stretchers waiting. And it's kind of crazy.
Dollars that were going to emergency
and it's
service.
like it's at like the emergency, like, like it's kind of crazy to think that you had people that were coming off a truck during an emergency that are now stuck waiting. And it's insane. Like, it was just so bad.
For illegals. Between President Trump's last full fiscal year under his first administration and Joe Biden's last full fiscal year, Medicaid spending on emergency services for illegal...
And I'm not going to say that it was Biden's fault. I don't know. But I am going to say that it is odd that no one was there for COVID, but for some odd reason, the hospitals were still packed like crazy. I do find it odd. And I can't compare to the year before Biden, and that's why I said I'm not going to blame it on Biden, because I don't know. And I can't blame it on COVID because, the vaccines were working, everything was fine, so I know it wasn't that. So that's why I'm like, I don't know what could be causing it, but I do know, and I asked them too. I asked a lot of the other truck drivers and the people that I rode around with how normal this was, and they said that, like, ever since COVID, but, like, not really, it's been like this. And I always got like a slightly different answer, like, so it was weird. It was definitely weird, but they said that it started happening like right when COVID hit.
Nearly tripled. There was an increase of 196%.
But it could be like, it's not necessarily causation. It could just be like, what's the word, where like, it just so happens to be that Biden got in right after COVID, because I don't like pointing fingers unless I know, but this kind of opened my eyes a little.
Between 2020 and 2024.
Wow.
And I have a chart here for you.
That's a
and
bad
I'm more than
one.
happy to email it.
You see how it goes
I'd also
up?
like to add, because some were asking dishonest questions yesterday about emergency rooms. In Southern California, according to healthcare professionals in 2023, under the Biden administration, Southern California's, quote, entire healthcare system was being bombarded with illegal immigrants and forcing American patients to endure longer wait times. In Denver, Colorado, the CEO of...
Yeah, I've been to tons of emergency rooms, and there's people there. There's like a group of like 5 people there. None of them seem to speak English. Yeah, of course.
Well, you know why that is. It's because if you're an illegal immigrant, you're not going to go to a doctor. You're going to go to the emergency room, because there's a chance. Well, no, they're 9 times out of 10, what's going to happen is they're going to see you, and because you're illegal, or, you look like, Asmon's been to the doctor, and he said that they've just been like, okay, you're fine, now get out of here, because they thought he was fucking homeless. They thought Asmon was homeless. So they didn't charge him. So there's a good chance that, and you have an obligation as a healthcare professional to help people. It's not a mental obligation. You are obligated by law to help these people, regardless of if they can pay the facility or not. So it makes sense why these illegal immigrants would be going to the urgent care or like, the emergency places, because they can get seen without having to pay first,
Some of them are illegal aliens. Sorry, there's probably a pretty high probability of that. How do I know that? Because that's what we did when we didn't have any fucking money.
Yep.
So if you don't have any money, you go to the emergency room because they immediately see you. They don't ask for payment. You get instant service, and that's the way that poor people do things, right? Exploiting the emergency room. I just think, honestly, and I don't even know how this happens, because if you don't have identification, like every time I've had to check my parents in the past to the emergency room, like I had to sit up there and give them the insurance information and the, like identification card and everything. I don't know what you do if you just say like...
You can't turn people away. If they show up to an emergency room and they have a serious problem, you have to see them. It is a requirement. That's why you see some of these hospitals get shut down whenever you see them wheeling out homeless people. They shut that fucking bitch down quick because it's a violation of human rights. You have to, as a medical professional, if you are on the job working for a facility, you have to help people. Whether, like, in instances where, for example, you, me as a, if I decided to become a paramedic or even better yet, a fire truck, a fire station. So like when we would get a call to a fire and we would start putting out the house and then the house next to us caught on fire, we are still required to put that fire out. But what we do, because we are also forbidden, or not really forbidden, but we have to work within reason, and that's like the SOP is what it's called, standard operating procedure of, well, we're already stretched thin, get another fire truck. Like a box truck, an ambulance can only see to one patient at a time. And they are able to offset that by, if there are two people that get struck in the road, calling two ambulances. That's how that works. So like, and the reason for that is because if you are split between two people and one of them dies, you can be charged with medical negligence. And that's why they don't allow ambulance people to work on more than one patient. Like if you get a call and you're headed somewhere and a car accident happens in front of you, you cannot stop for that. You can call it in, radio it in, but you have to go to your first place. You have to. You are required. And that depends on the department. Some departments will allow you to stop and be like, we got something that just happened in front of us. We're going to do this. Can you get somebody else over there? But most departments won't allow you to do that.
I don't have those. I have no idea. So yeah, emergency rooms supposed to be last resort. Yeah. You never guess how much the illegal immigrants contribute to the economy each year? It's hard to say.
Denver Health stated that 8,000 illegal immigrants made 20,000 visits to the city's health system in 2023, leaving an uncompensated bill totaling over $10 million.
Oh my God.
So when an illegal alien goes to the emergency room, who's paying for it? The American taxpayer. The main safety net hospital in Denver had to turn away patients due to the massive influx of illegal immigrants into the community. And UC Health Hospitals in 2024 reported their system was under stress from an increasing number of migrants. As a result, according to the head of emergency departments and urgent cares across the hospital system, quote, access is impeded for everyone. These are healthcare professionals who dealt with this directly, and there's a lot more where that came from.
Well, it's obvious if you have a bunch of illegal aliens in an area, they're gonna, take up services like this. I mean, obviously, you bring, even if you add in a bunch of people in general, that's what's going to happen. It's common sense, right? Which she finds out how many times I had to go to the emergency room whenever I was homeless. Hey, yo, I've been there before, not for myself, but actually I was. So there was a time I went to urgent care. I convinced myself that I had cancer. And so I went to the emergency room to
one of those people that like look stuff up online and then like you get the online answer of like, oh, You've got like terminal cancer. Yeah, someone else had this, and it, come to find out their back was like broken. Or you get women that are like, "Oh, I have testicular cancer," and it's like you don't even have testicles. Like, what are you talking about?
Have them check out some sort of, I don't know, bump on my leg, or maybe this was a blood clots thing. I forgot which one it was at this point. So I convinced myself of this. What kind? I think it was skin cancer, and then I thought I had a blood clot, etc. So
It's him saying that he went to the hospital, and then they didn't charge him any money because, you know, they thought he was homeless. I'm gonna use the bathroom. I'm gonna be right back. Be right back. Okay. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. We're gonna knock out the rest of these videos. If you're new to the channel, check it out. We're here Monday through Friday, whatever videos I react to in the morning stream. I usually put out on throughout the day. I cut it up. I do all my editing. Have a Discord. You could join the Discord and recommend some videos. We do pretty much all of it. Today's gonna be kind of a wacky day because I wasn't able to get really any sleep last night. So today is kind of off a little bit. So I don't think that it's like this every day. Usually we don't react to so much asmongold, but this morning I woke up and I was like, "Yep, nope, I'm fucked," because I wasn't able to get to sleep for whatever reason last night. So today's a wacky day. Wacky Monday. Here. So you guys remember whenever I said there's no way Diddy was gonna go to jail? Did he do it or did he not? You know what I'm saying? So this guy pretty much got off.
He believes he's a changed man and that he deserves to be out of jail with time served.
Okay, well, there it is.
The judge also told Combs that he appreciates the discussion of the impact of a sentence on his family and the impact that...
So apparently he got off of drugs and alcohol during his time waiting to be sentenced in jail. He was so confident that he was going to get out of jail that he had started setting up kind of like places he was going to go and talk once he got out of prison this week, because this happened on Friday. He had stuff set up where he was going to go around the country and talk, like live. And he was using that as, I guess, a legal defense to claim that he was changed, that he wants to spread the word or whatever. And the judge mistook it as, how are you going to be going around the country if you're going to be in jail? So it kind of backfired on him a little.
Addiction has had on Combs.
No
Combs
way!
said that while in jail...
And you have to keep in mind, this is after they dropped life sentence crimes on this man.
He became alcohol and drug free the first time in a very long time.
Oh my God.
He also told the court that he wanted to be able to spend time with his 7 children and with his 84-year-old mother. Now, 6 of his 7 children did speak in court, and they told the judge that they want their father home with them. Many of the children cried and were emotional relating to the judge.
He's getting away with it. No way.
He was a changed
and I said
man.
this on Friday. I said, There's no way they're going to charge this man. I doubt he'll see another day in jail.
Now, the judge
No way he's
also
getting
said
away
to
with it.
him, a history of good work to prove he's a changed man. He taught a class in prison for other prisoners on life skills.
What kind
One
of skills?
things
That kind of amazes me. Like, life skills? Like, the man's so rich he wipes his ass with $100 bills. Like, when was the last time you even cooked, my guy? Like, with how much, like, how, has he even held a 9-to-5 job? I'm so curious, like, what could you have possibly told these men in prison about, like, what life skills? So, yeah, what you do is you pay this guy $100 and he wipes your ass. It's great. Like, what?
Today is that Combs has a speaking engagement planned for next week.
Yep,
Wait,
this
so
week.
he's just
It was supposed to
he's
be.
gonna get off?
That How can he have a speaking engagement when he's not even out yet? And he's planning speaking engagements in Miami and in other cities. Sentence, 50 months. 50 months. The judge
They
is...
wanted to give him 11 years in prison. Why that did not stick? Well, I mean, come on. Why do you think it didn't stick? Because he's got all that baby oil and money.
giving Sean Diddy Combs 50 months in prison. Now, he's already served 13 months in jail.
Does that count? So, hold up.
Yeah.
This dude...
And the time that he has already spent in jail will count towards that.
Like, I mean, everybody knows this guy's guilty, right? I mean, like, we all know this.
Yeah, there's video footage of the stuff he did.
He's getting off on under 5 years. And
From a life sentence. One of the charges was going to give him life in prison.
that's the baseline. That's as bad as it gets. That doesn't mean that he can get part of the sentence commuted. That doesn't mean that he can get out early on
Or
good behavior.
parole.
This
He can
guy
get paroled.
diddled for 30 years, and he's going to take a 4-year vacation. They did not say he's... Wait. Bro. They did not say he is not eligible for parole. And for parole, you need to do 10% of your sentence. If he takes parole...
He's already done more than 10% of his sentence. If he wanted to, if he was able to go up for parole, he can get out at sometime this week.
Parole, he goes home next month. Oh my God.
What'd I say? What'd I say? I said he was going to get off. I said it. I said there was no way. There's a lot of asmongold today, damn. So this is new.
Jay Jones. What happened with this guy? This guy crashed out pretty hard, huh?
Leaked text messages from 2022 show the Democrat calling for violence against former Republican Virginia House Speaker Todd Gilbert and his family.
If you are in a public office and you're representing a state, you should not be advocating for death to a political opponent. That, my friends, is called being in a dictatorship. And that should be made illegal. The rhetoric has to stop.
The text messages reveal
If those guys die before me, I will go to their funerals to piss on their graves. Send them out awash in something. 3 people, 2 bullets. Gilbert, Hitler, and Pol Pot. Gilbert gets...
Jesus fucking Christ. Are you crazy?
2 bullets to the head. Spoiler, put Gilbert in the crew with 2 of the worst people you know, and he receives both bullets every time. Jay, please stop.
The argument with this that I saw a lot of people saying is, well, it would have been okay if it didn't go viral or public. It's not okay. Because this says a lot about your character when you're advocating for the death of people that have done nothing wrong. They've done nothing wrong. They just are running against you, or they are part of, like a different state. They've done nothing wrong to you. and you want to kill them? You're crazy. That's crazy.
Oh, okay. This dude fucking hates Gilbert.
Jones went on to say he believed.
Oh my god. I mean, do I think Todd and Jennifer are evil and that they're breeding little fascists? Yes. I genuinely was. I wasn't attacking you. I was trying to...
I agree. This kind of stuff needs to be stopped and punished. I absolutely agree with you. There is no excuse for a political person, not even like somebody in office who is there to represent anything that is part of the law, part of making laws, like anything like that. You have to hold yourself to a higher standard. As a firefighter, even if you don't like somebody, guess what your job is? It's to save people. Like when you can't just decide not to do something because you don't like a group of people. Who's to say that's not because, like, you know, you want to bring race into that, you want to bring religion into that? Well, what if they're not the same religion as you? Just because they're a political opponent, who's to say because they're not the same religion as you that you wouldn't treat them the same? Who's to say if they're poor and they're not rich like you wouldn't treat them the same? The same thing racially. Like, this says a lot about him as a person. You really want somebody like this running your state? Hell no!
Understand your logic. He's talking to a girl, by the way. I guarantee you he's talking to a girl.
Jay Jones wished for the violent death of a political opponent and then fantasized about that opponent's children dying.
What a savage. Especially, like, you're trying to, like, I can get, like, oh, I want to kill this guy that I'm up against. Yeah, all right, that's a bit crazy, but okay, it's a private conversation, sure. But his kids?
Abigail Spanberger, the Democratic candidate for governor, said she spoke to Jones about the text messages, but stopped short of calling for him to drop out of the race. Lieutenant Governor Winston.
Of course, because ultimately they'll still support him. And I think a lot of them, if you want me to be honest, I think they agree with him.
Jay Jones literally fantasized about killing a man and 2 children.
Yeah.
Even if Jones dropped out of the race, he would still get votes.
Oh, he's the attorney general? This is the guy that's going to be the person who's deciding, like, justice? Oh, wow. Oh, that's a lot. Do you think he's impartial? I think he's nuts. The guy's nuts. He's a nutball. Here's what's scary, guys. I think that there is a double-digit percentage of the population that thinks like that person does.
I'm going to go farther than he is. I'm going to say there's a triple digit. I do. I think there is a triple digit percentage of the population that thinks like him. A lot of people in the U.S. I do.
There is.
And everything with Kirk and all this political violence that's going on in L.A. and Chicago, it's further solidifying that 100%. Seriously. I actually saw something that I'd like to react to. It wasn't Asmon, don't worry. I'm just clicking on it to Penguin. Actually, hold on. There we go. So, here's the thing.
Sports, they've got the entire... Yeah, I know this is something I don't typically talk about, but I'm going to blabber about it quite a bit today. I was recently talking about Saudi Arabia after their purchase of EA, going into detail about how they are gluttonously buying up basically everything thanks to their infinite money that they have at their disposal. They're basically playing life on admin mode. Like, they've entered this era where they just have so much money and now they're using it to buy everything. And I've talked about my own personal experience seeing that firsthand in the esports
That'll be
space.
interesting. Mr. Beast over the Department of Defense.
They fundamentally own esports. They've got the entire...
Isn't it like the Department of War now or something?
Industry on nipple clamps right now thanks to the money they pump into it because it's an industry that is deprived of it. And they are starving, malnourished when it comes to finances. And then Saudi Arabia has swooped in with that supple teat that they're allowing all the orgs to... a big thing, and they're not hypocrites. Exist there.
So what he's trying to say, and I'm sure a lot of you picked up on it, but I'm going to give you the short version. The people that Saudi Arabia, the people that bought EA, are now going around and buying up other studios as well.
Is that it? Which
that's
is so
not
painful.
why I wanted to watch this. I wanted to watch it
the
because
dumbest fucking thing I've heard of since contract that ironic. But this is just not the same guy. He has been replaced by a fucking skinwalker. He growing up, Dave Chappelle was such a big part of my childhood, as I'm sure many others. But this is just not the same guy. He has been replaced by a fucking skinwalker.
You want to see money that talks? Look at this.
He unironically said that it's easier to talk in Saudi Arabia than it is in America. If that isn't the dumbest fucking...
None of this really matters until you realize that Bill Burr actually ruined his career. He ruined his career.
Since Hawk Tuacoin. Dave, to even perform there, you signed a contract that expressly forbid you from talking about or joking about things that may be considered to degrade, defame, or bring into public disrepute, contempt, scandal, embarrassment, or ridicule Saudi Arabia, its ruling government, royal family, or any religion or any religious figure, period. This comes from a comedian that was offered to perform, but said no, which is apparently very rare because not many comedians had the wherewithal to say no. They didn't have the strength.
This contract was like over $5 million. But a lot of comedians took it, and a lot of them are hypocrites now.
So this contract was leaked, revealed to everybody from a comedian named Atsuka Okatsuka. Hopefully I said that name correctly. She got the invitation, the contract to go, and declined. She refused, and then revealed all of the stipulations that were put in the contract in the first place to ensure people were gagged on the things they were allowed to joke and talk about there. So all the comedians preaching about like how free they felt to speak, they literally signed a piece of paper binding them
to say nice things. They are required to, by law, to say nice things about that country.
To ensure they wouldn't talk about a lot of things. So these are things that you are literally not allowed to talk about, Dave. You muzzled yourself just to even attend, to even accept that bag of money. It came with the stipulation that you would not talk about these things. It was fucking forbidden, Dave. Yeah, it's so easy to talk there as long as you agree to not talk about this laundry list of shit that they don't want you to talk about. And Dave, maybe you didn't read the contract. In fact, I'm confident you didn't. So what if you did end up talking about things they didn't want you to talk about? What would have happened? Would you have ended up like one of the many people who were sentenced to death for criticizing the government or making like, you know, what they deem to be destabilizing remarks? Because that's something that Saudi Arabia still does pretty often. Like, even in 2025, there's been a lot of executions, and one of them was a journalist who had made posts talking about corruption in the Saudi Arabian regime. His name was Turki Al-Jassar, and he recently was put to death on June 14th after being accused of terrorist crimes, including destabilizing the security of society and stability of the state, which, you're not going to believe this, Dave, there was no evidence for those alleged crimes. But don't worry, his family did at least get to visit him before they took his life, but his family wasn't informed that they were going to kill him. That was just a little surprise they sprung up.
What? Holy God, that's crazy!
And they also haven't got his body, by the way, either. Weirdly enough, Dave, it seems like his crime was talking. I don't know, man, there's just so many things there that are just giving me this inkling of a suspicion that it's not exactly as easy to talk there as you like to claim that. Provably false. That people can easily find this in just. Here, the worst thing that's going to happen is $1 million net a show taken away. They might stopping comedians too, like literally just forcing them to spit shit out for them, just vomit like tourism brochures. Because Bill Burr, after coming back, is like, oh my God, this was life-changing. Calling it a top 3 experience he's had.
What's crazy is that Bill Burr, he's very politically charged, and he talks shit about, you know, what happened with the Twin Towers quite a bit. And the thing is that even Asmon said it. He was like, he doesn't... Actually, I feel like Asmon's coverage of it would have been better. Charlie's like, he's talking a little too much. I don't think Here it is.
Bill Burr, Dave Chappelle, Kevin Hart, and a number of other comedians decided to go to the Middle East and perform in Saudi Arabia. So let's go ahead and watch the video. The video is titled "Bill Burr Destroys His Reputation."
This ruined Bill Burr because it showed him being a hypocrite. That's the problem with it.
Beyonce and Mariah Carey actually did private New Year's gigs.
So this is Bill Burr speaking from a morning podcast in 2011.
For $1 million, did New Year's gigs for Gaddafi's kids. Can you fucking believe that? How much?
In my opinion, I mean, Gaddafi, I don't know if we really made the right decision killing him. I'm kind of the mindset that we didn't, if you want me to be honest.
Fucking money do you need to make, you know? You're going to take a gig where you're going to go dance like a goddamn fucking clown for a mass murderer's kids?
Oh,
then you
no.
take that fucking France like a goddamn fucking clown for a mass murderer's kids? Then you take that fucking blood.
The issue isn't that you feel a type of way about it. The issue is that you vocalize it and you try to make them out to be a monster, and then you turn around and do the same thing. You lose all credibility.
Money. And what he's done, you couldn't remember that he claimed he was behind the Pan Am bombings that killed fellow Americans? The fuck is wrong with you?
The Royals loved the show. Everyone was happy. The people that were doing the festival were thrilled. And, yeah, it was just this great, positive thing. And I got to tell you, just to be a part of that was fucking amazing. And the comedian...
I hope he enjoys that money because it's probably going to be the last he's going to get for a while.
That I've been talking to, just saying, like, dude, you can feel it. They wanted it. So, it was a mind-blowing experience. Definitely top 3 experiences I've ever had.
All right, so after...
Here's my opinion on this. I don't have a problem with people like Kevin Hart going over there. And
or Gabriel Iglesias went over there as well. But they're not politically charged comedians. They have their own stories, you know? They're not taking historical events and turning them into jokes like Bill Barr does, and then brutally monsterizing a society of people.
And Dave Chappelle going over there. But Bill Burr is so woke. He's always putting his opinion out there on all kinds of stuff. He's so judgmental. And then for him to go and do this, especially after criticizing it in the past, I think that's the real problem. Like, I don't fault somebody for going out and working in Saudi Arabia. Sure, it's a job. That's your that's work. It's money. It is what it is. But the problem is that if you want to be seen as a person with principles that is, you know, especially...
You want to take the high ground, but, you know, you're so ready to get off that high ground and take the low road and get censored by a contract that, you know what I'm saying? Like
you literally said and criticized people for doing this.
And you go out and do it.
Doing that, it's so hypocritical that I think that really... Nobody should take Bill Burr's opinions on things seriously anymore. I think he's a really funny guy. I've always really liked Bill Burr, but I wouldn't be taking his political opinions that seriously anymore.
Not anymore.
Okay? Like, I wouldn't. Not that I did to begin with, but there were certain things that I agreed with. So the clip was in 2011. He might have changed his mind on it. Well, I think he did. I mean, he obviously changed his mind.
I mean, he must have, because he's not doing it anymore. I mean, come on now. This one is really big. So, as you'll know, Ghost of Yotwai came out, and I'm not gonna lie to you, from what I understand, it's based on, the something 6, those, like, 6 different clans or whatever, just like Assassin's Creed Shadows. And I didn't know this until it was brought up that both the antagonists that were in Shadows and in Yotwai were female. And they're both hunting down the I think it's like the Yotoi 6 or whatever. I think. I'm not 100%
PlayStation game
sure,
is the same.
But yes, it's kind of crazy.
A lot of people linked me this video. And
IGN did this. By the way, WIGN.
It might actually be true.
I'm a huge fan of PlayStation's first-party offerings. They've come to embody the sort of cinematic adventures I've always looked for when sitting down with a controller in my hand.
This is the first
feeling
game.
like genuine blockbuster events meant to be savoured. But where in the past this brand of glossy storytelling felt like new ground being trodden, I can't help but feel that recently it's become the well-worn road. It's not just that all of PlayStation's major releases adhere to the now trademark third-person cinematic stylings. It's that the stable of developers has become seemingly obsessed with stories that explore the exact same themes, grief and revenge. And I'm starting to get a little
The reason why it happens is because the games are being made by a bunch of boring, obnoxious millennial theater kids that have never gone through any trouble, trial, or tribulation in their life other than whenever their parents found their DeviantArt profile whenever they were 15 and they got sent to therapy. That's it. Oh, and maybe also whenever Amazon ran out of Labubus to order.
Tired of it. As a rule, these games are all impeccably well made, but I'm starting to miss that era when PlayStation's range felt wider and things were a little bit more fun.
I remember like the PlayStation 2 era. You could go to like GameStop and get like fucking 15 games for like $10. Like they had bundles and deals and stuff. And like you would just pull things off the shelf. Or maybe it was like $5 for $5. Maybe that's what it was. You would pull them off the shelf, right? And like, I would always pick like random games. And I kid you not, every game that I would pick, now every now and then I'd have like a dud. I would pick like games that looked really cool based on the cover art or games that I knew about that I haven't played yet. And then I would play them. And there were so many games that hit and so many different stories that you would get from playing these games. It was always something fresh and fun. What happened to that? Like
an over-the-shoulder narrative.
Cinematic. They're like God of War, Ghost of Tsushima, The Last of Us, Horizon Zero Dawn. And I don't like shitting on God of War. But you can't compare Ragnarok, hell, even to 2016 or 2018's version of God of War. Ragnarok felt so goopy and goppy and just slop compared to Revenge Kratos, you know?
RPG, story, movie slop video game. There are a lot of them.
And if you notice, God of War is probably the only one that's tried to go away from the revenge story, but a lot of them, unlike Horizon, are like revenge format games. They're cinematic movie style revenge games. A lot of these games have like Yotoi is probably the most recent instance of this, of games having mechanics in it because it utilizes features on a controller, not because it enhances the gameplay, but because it is like a showcase for the game's functions and PlayStation's functions on their controllers. It all it does is bloat the game and make it to where you're doing the same mechanic 30 fucking times, and you're just so over it.
Been a whole lot of them.
The realization that so many PlayStation games have explored the same grim story themes.
Props to Astro Bot, by the way, that broke the mold there.
Struck me when playing through Sucker Punch's new Ghost of Yotei. While I thoroughly enjoyed it and admire
I've seen a lot of gameplay of this game. It does not look good, boys. It looks like Shadows without the like base building. It's a lot of the same repetitive mechanic.
Where the beginning of the samurai movie is the bad samurai showing up and killing all the people and then
Laughing
leaving
angrily
you
and leaving.
laughing at you.
Yep.
It's like, this is Conan the fucking Barbarian. It's Rise of the Ronin.
God of War, like
every single fucking one is like this. Like, it is. There's a whole lot of these. Kill Bill, yep, there's another one. The Sekiro, yep, there we go. A whole lot of it. It's not about necessarily the framing of the story. It's how it's told, I think.
Blood-soaked journey across 17th century Japan.
Jeez, we're
as
gonna
you
have to
hunt
watch
down
this
each
again.
of the Yotei 6. Not only is this tale unfortunately close to the plot of Assassin's Creed Shadows, which
it's almost the exact same. It literally is almost the exact fucking same. They even have a female, like, protagonist in the game.
Autumn.
As a playable character.
It's the same thing.
It is. It pretty much is the same exact thing.
It also played to completion earlier this year, but it's the same combination of
I don't know how.
fiery revenge arc crossed with meditations on what it is to grieve.
Well, it's even, the thing is that it's even at the beginning of Assassin's Creed Shadows, a group of samurai that look different, and some of them are wearing masks and look like idiots, cause, you know, like, I think her name is Naue. They kill, they kill her family too. Well,
it's the exact same. No, that's exactly what happened in Shadows. It's the exact same, like, it's the exact same thing.
Same thing.
And by the way, we don't currently have any actual records of how many copies the game has sold. Now, there are a lot of people circulating that the game has sold a whole bunch of copies and da-da-da-da-da. No developers, no studios, and the fact that it is on PlayStation makes it almost impossible to track. It's not like Steam. You can't pull up a Steam chart and look at it and see how many copies the game has sold. So, no developers, no companies have come forward and talked about how many sales the game has made. There's a lot of misinformation going around. We currently don't know how good the game is doing, and to be quite frank, if developers from Sucker Punch Studio came out and said the game was selling well, I personally wouldn't believe them, simply because there are instances of other studios lying about it. Actually, a good one is, what's it called? There's, Dragon Age, the Veilguard. They lied about their numbers, and then when people fact-checked them, I mean, they're out of business. So, like, let's be honest here. They're cooked.
Comes something of a hallmark for PlayStation Studios in recent years.
I'm sorry it came to this, little. You are free.
2022's God of War Ragnarok is a story fueled by the loss of mothers.
There was no reason for that game to be as long as it was. No reason for that game to have been 40 fucking hours long. That was way too long. And so much of it was like being on, it was a Jotunheim with that girl. That was so dragged out. That was easily 2 extra hours of bullshit.
And sons, and the anger that comes with them. Insomniac's Spider-Man series follows both Peter Parker and Miles Morales.
No, it doesn't. It follows Peter Parker, Miles Morales, and fucking Mary Jane. Why there are missions in there where you have to play as Mary Jane is beyond me. I love how there are two... now, I want to say this and make this very clear. Spider-Man 2, I really enjoyed. I absolutely despise, I hate to the core, I scream in rage. Every fucking time I have to play as Mary Jane in a game called Spider-Man fucking 2 or 1. The game says Spider-Man, not Spider-Man and Dumb Bimbo for fucking 20% of the game. And their developer was like, oh, well, you know, we're just going to make her overpowered because why not? Why have it in there anyway? You have 2 Spider-Mans. Pick one. Pick both. Why her? Jesus.
As they attempt to overcome supervillain threats, as well as wrestle with their demons stemming from dead parental figures.
She never thought about herself. Even when she was struggling to breathe.
I'm not gonna lie, I hated how they treated Peter in that one. They made Peter into a simp bitch in Spider-Man 2. The combat was phenomenal. The storyline made Peter look like a simp, dude. I hated it. Mary Jane is a piece of shit. Deserves nothing but the worst in life. And Peter is a fucking simp.
Returnal is a looping sci-fi nightmare born out of the protagonist Celine's familial grief-related trauma. And then there's 2025's
I didn't like Death Stranding 2 at all. I mean, I liked the gameplay, but the story was garbage. It made there was no reason for this game to exist. If they had added more on the BTs and stuff, sure. As far as storyline, not actual gameplay. But it was dookie. I didn't like the story.
A big PlayStation
Haven't played
exclusive
this one
Death
yet.
Stranding 2 on the beach, which may not technically be a first-party game, but certainly is a verifiable
PlayStation
feast
game.
of maternal
Spider-Man with
and
Mary
paternal
Jane.
anguish. Don't get
That's
me
what they
wrong,
should have
I'm
called
a
it.
fan
They
of
should have called
all
it
the
Spider-Man
games
with Mary
listed above,
Jane.
each singular in its depictions of characters and each offering wildly different gameplay experiences. But when
There was a fucking instance where in the first Spider-Man game, you literally get cucked. You're like put in the cuck chair, and you play as Mary Jane, and you have to fucking watch you play as Mary Jane where you're going through like a bank, and you have to direct Spider-Man to take out enemies. Like, I don't know how much more in a cuck chair you could be. Like, let's be honest here.
as a whole, it's easy to hear that their stories are all being sung from the same hymn sheet. Familial grief is at the center of all of these stories.
Don't repeat that, Chad. Don't say that. Don't say that word.
And while I certainly feel that
I need all the viewers I can get. Don't say that word. That's a bad word. Don't say that.
In games, it is all starting to feel like I'm getting hit around the head with the same
millennial theater kid slop. That's what it is. And also, why is it that so many of these stories are told about parents and issues with your parents?
Oh, I wonder why.
You know it. I know it. Everybody knows it. It's because it's written by a bunch of people that have issues with their parents.
See, whenever you sit down and play a game, you want to escape reality. You don't want to deal with it. I think that's why I'm clicking so damn well with Borderlands right now, because like it's giving me that nice rush whenever I kill a boss and a bunch of stuff starts pooping out of it. And like the story has nothing to do with parents. It has nothing to do with life. It's a story where you got to go and kill some vault thing that's on a planet, and you go kill it, and then, you know, life moves on. I'm fine with that. Perfectly fine with that. It's great.
Ideas.
That's the reason why.
There are weird, quirky characters that I don't really understand, don't really give a shit about, and I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that.
For example, see, people think the end of Return of the King is gay. They think it's Frodo and Sam are gay at the end of Lord of the Rings because they don't understand the absolute bliss and euphoria of being able to finally be finished.
Apparently that was a thing. People were trying to say that Sam and Frodo were gay, but like they're friends. It's so weird that people don't like the social cues that people just straight up don't understand nowadays kind of blows my mind a little bit. I'm not going to lie.
With a world-ending threat that threatens all of civilization and life itself. And why is that? It's because they weren't a trench fucking fighter in the actually not a trench fighter, an officer in the British Army in World War I, like J.R.R. Tolkien was. And that's why when you have somebody who served in World War fucking One, which in my opinion is like, in terms of like the brutality and, you know, just like the absolute...
World War One was bad, bro. Like World War II was bad whenever scorched earth hit the Nazi regime, but like World War One, there was a lot of death that is now war crimes that were perfectly legal then, which is insane. Like, dude, it was a meat grinder out there in World War One. Like, there was just no laws, no rules. Like
you had cavalry charging into machine guns.
Yeah.
It was just fucking, it was a meat grinder.
The development of tanks.
The stories that come out of a person that goes through that type of experience are going to have a certain type of verisimilitude that a millennial Funko Pop Labubu collecting loser that is a furry just doesn't have access to.
And he's right. What you experience in life makes you you. That's why I'm so goddamn rigid. I'm a rigid motherfucker. But that's because I've had a fucked life. And that's what makes you you. If you've had your entire life catered to you by your fucking parents, you had everything handed to you, and you had your college paid for, you took out your nice little loan and you stayed home with mommy and daddy the entire time you were going through college, and you didn't have to go out and work 40 or 50 hours. Actually, it'd be more than that. You didn't have to go out and work like 50 or 60 hours to afford your rent and pay for your classes and your books and stuff. You wouldn't know what it's like to struggle because you were staying at home with mommy and daddy, and you didn't have to struggle like a lot of people are now. So, like, you're going to live and you're going to have a viewpoint of somebody who doesn't even realize how privileged they are compared to real people who are in the ringer every single day. And, you know, you get like these weird ideology things that are put into games, and you're just like, this is dog shit. Please stop.
That's the truth. That's where we're at.
Mm-hmm. Because they ain't got no stories to tell. They don't have any like core functions to go off of other than, well, I'm 30 and I just completed my master's in graphic design or storytelling, whatever the fuck it's called, where you can write stories for big multi-million-dollar companies. They get a job and they start writing this story, and it's the most bland, lifeless thing you've ever seen. And you're just like, yep, publish it, make money. And then it doesn't make money, and you're just like, huh, what happened?
At this point, the cycle of violence is in very real danger of becoming a loop of diminishing returns.
You gutted my father.
It already is in diminishing returns. They're spending so much money to develop these games, and it's not netting the returns. It is not. I wouldn't be surprised if in the next 2 years they don't come out with another God of War game, and it's going to be shit. And let me tell you why, before you start trying to bash me. It's going to be because it's not going to have good writing anymore. They're going to try and put it out like they always do whenever it comes to these games. They're going to try and get it in as quickly as possible so that way they can get the studio even more and more money. But I hate to break it to you, but it's not going to change anything, Sony, because you're still hemorrhaging money to all these people that really don't do much for the company. It's just gonna be another title that Sony's gonna take and like ruin. Like Ghost of Yotoi doesn't need to exist. This game is just like Death Stranding 2. It doesn't need to exist. Death Stranding 1 was such an amazing game. The story was phenomenal. The twists and turns had me thinking every time I went to the next cutscene, wanting the next cutscene. The gameplay was mid. It took me a bit to get used to it, that's for sure. I had to do some growing to play that game. And boy, was it worth. And not to mention Ghost of Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima was amazing. Just stop. Stop doing this.
Then you tried to burn me alive.
Like, you can't compare the newer 2 God of War games to God of War 3 or 1 and 2 or any of the ones made for PSP. They're not even comparable. They're 2 different stories. in my eyes. I can never compare the new God of War games to the old ones. In my eyes, the old God of War games are probably the best God of War games you could ever sit down and play. Ever. They're just better in every way.
It's true that not every
The gameplay is better, the story is better, it's just better.
PS5 game follows this pattern. Astro Bot isn't an exploration of generational trauma in deep space. But
Astro Bot was good. I enjoyed Astro Bot. I don't think it should have won out over Black Myth Wukong, but
catch my drift.
it's a Sony
Incidentally,
award
what I
program,
enjoyed
so
much
what
about
did you
Team
expect?
Asobi's ode to PlayStation
So of course
old.
Sony would give their
With
own
its joy and
game of the year, right?
Ode to PlayStation, more like ode to fucking. Seen it on social media.
Uncharted was okay. I've played all the Uncharteds. The whole Let's Plays up on the channel. It's okay. Like it's okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Social media. Yep. I'm gonna be sexist here. How many of you guys have seen girls that think that that like make comments about how gay the end of Lord of the Rings was? They can, and they can't understand. It's okay. It's fine. Mm-hmm. There it is. They don't understand, and they can't understand.
And it's World War II / sci-fi.
I remember Resistance. Resistance was good. I actually Resistance was like more of a PlayStation 3 thing, but it was really good. I would recommend Resistance.
Resistance and it's World War II / sci-fi warfare match.
Remember that Killzone game? That was pretty cool. Whatever.
Killzone was fun too. It was hard as shit, but it was fun.
What happened to that?
Up, as well as Little Big Planet, which all the way at the
Oh, y'all remember Little Big Planet? I remember playing that with a friend in high school and absolutely laughing until I threw up because of like the quirky mechanics and the funny shit that's in it, dude. I don't know what happened to PlayStation.
The tonal spectrum celebrated creativity and community.
Welcome to Bunkum Chummy Chum Chum, where the sky is strewn with circling clouds of imagination.
Yes, these games all contained varying levels of character nuances, but were all fundamentally about different things. Treasure hunting, alien invasions, and personal expression.
Sure.
They weren't all trying to serve the same story.
When was the last time Sony even published an alien-style game? Like one that involved... Well, maybe, actually, no, there was one, but it was multiplayer. Fuck, what's it called? Oh, my God. Oh, my God, what is it called? Helldivers. Helldivers 2.
And I can't help but feel that if a new Jak and Daxter game were to come out today, it would be about an Otzel's thirst for revenge against the killers of his blonde-haired friend.
Hang on, Dax, it's gonna be close!
I hope that future PlayStation exclusives can look to this more varied, interesting past for inspiration, even when choosing to tackle more serious subject matters. Team Eco's PS2 classic Shadow of the Colossus took on a mournful.
They never capitalized on this. They did a remaster of Shadow of the Colossus, and they never did another one. That was such an amazing game to watch.
Like this is what they should do. They should redo this.
Tone, but
This is
found
peak?
something
Yeah.
truly unique and poignant within it, at a time when such ideas were far less common in games. It stands as a unique, not just a variation.
This game looks really fucking good for being out in 2004, but didn't they remaster it?
That's the crazy part is like in 2004, they had more innovative gameplay that made like for example, God of War 1 and 2, like the difference in graphics from God of War 1 and then in God of War 2, they were both released for the PlayStation 2, it's immeasurable. You can play God of War 1 and it still has like, limbs that look like they were kind of floating in place whenever you see characters move. And then you play God of War 2 and the graphics, it felt like you were playing a PlayStation 3 game. It was ridiculous.
Make it or something?
They
must have remade it. There's no way this is 2004.
That brings me back
That's what
to
I thought.
Ghost of Yotai, a game that is superior to its predecessor in almost every aspect.
Except for
barring
the story.
its central story.
My name is Atsu.
While I connect to Atsu more than I ever did Jin Sakai, she's a much warmer presence to spend a few dozen hours with. Ghost of Tsushima's narrative explores different, fresher ground. The story balances the personal struggles of Jin against the backdrop of an invasion of a nation, with themes of honor, betrayal, and belonging striking a chord and making it stand out when it arrived hot on the heels of The Last of Us Part 2 in 2020, before grief seemingly took hold of every Sony storyteller. Perhaps PlayStation's interest in grief is a reflection of the state of the world, though. When viewed through the lens of
I don't
It's
think
just
so
that
either.
People don't know how to write stories that are in
all these old dogs that are retiring out of are getting fired because of their viewpoints. They're either getting fired or they're retiring because they're tired of dealing with the company. Or they're quitting. They're just done trying to make sense and reason for these people that just don't care.
Good, without making them really sad, to make themselves feel like they're deep and they have some sort of greater meaning.
Yeah.
It's because they're just overgrown theater kids. That's
Mustard
it. That's
gas.
what they are. That's all they can do.
when PS5 of many minds. It will therefore be intriguing to see if this pattern will continue much further then, now that the world has somewhat settled back into what it looked like beforehand. Will the stories being told in projects...
I think that Sony's going to take a lot longer, now that all these other companies are getting shut down because of all this crap that they've got in them. I feel like Sony, it's going to happen to eventually, but it might take a while.
Began production post-2022 mirror a different state of the planet.
Is an Expedition 33 story also about family grief? Yeah, and there are stories that are good that are about grief, etc.
It's how you portray the story. It has to be subtle. Like, a lot of the writers now, they make it too, they say it. What makes a good story is whenever you tiptoe around what the story is about. You have to make the player want to figure out what the story is about. That's how you get them to play it. A lot of these new writers, they want to treat you like you're fucking stupid, and they just tell you outright, "Oh, it's because of this," and it's like it's part of the story, part of the game, even, and it just makes you feel like it's very condescending, if anything.
The
You're too
problem
stupid to
really
figure
is
it out
that
yourself.
you just keep making the same story over and over and over.
Mhm.
That's the issue. And also, there's like so many extra levels and layers of complexity to Expedition 33 that a lot of other stories don't have.
Or continue to look inside ourselves at our darkest moments. These are, of course, all valid tales to tell, and I'm a huge proponent of art being reflections of those creating it. But I can't help but wish for a little more variety going forward.
I will find every last member of the Yote Six.
I don't find this... I don't even care. I don't find this intimidating at all. It just looks stupid to me. They should keep the revenge stories to Kratos, get away from the whole son thing, and go from that. That's what they should do.
And I will bring you peace.
There's a reason to be hopeful and skeptical, considering what Sony has coming up next.
This game looks good.
Insomniac's Wolverine looks to be delivering on all of the gore and decapitation you'd hope to see.
That's
But
cool.
will that mature rating be reflected in its themes?
Death's always waiting.
Logan is certainly a character consumed by lust for revenge. Will that see us taken down a familiar path of burying past demons through ultra-violence? Or will we get an altogether different story that
I didn't watch this.
As for Naughty Dog, the ground zero of this long...
It's just really like... Here's the thing.
I don't
is
even know.
that-
I think Naughty
Do you
Dog's
think
good.
that's not true?
Discovering some of that uncharted levity here. Check out our review, and for everything else, keep it locked to IGN.
I think that as long as Sony is trying to push its game mechanics by putting fluff into games where you have to use your controller by turning it sideways and blowing on it and doing all this weird shit with it, where they add in a bunch of mini games that are around that mechanic just to show that mechanic off, they're going to continue to slump further and further down because, like, I noticed that the reviews for Yotoi have been fairly mixed so far. Fairly mixed. A lot of people were saying that, like, a lot of the comments that were 5 stars seemed like they were fake. A lot of people boycotted it because of Sucker Punch's bullshit. I'd like to say that the person that worked at Sucker Punch, they did get fired. The person that made that comment about Kirk, they indeed got fired. And Asmon has taken it upon himself, and he has stated this on stream, that if that person gets another job, that he looks forward to watching them get fired there as well. And you know what? I agree. I don't want someone like that working in society for anything, because if you want to advocate for death and violence, you don't need to be a contributing member of the society, because it's wrong. I think I'm probably going to head out of here, boys. I'm tired. Tomorrow we'll be back to a normal stream, hopefully. That's the hope. A little early today, but I'm donezo. I'm gonna render and edit out these videos and get these bitches, like, scheduled for the rest of the day. But I'm gonna get off and go and take some Tylenol because I'm getting a massive headache. We're only like 30 minutes early today. An hour technically, but yep. Like I said, so starting tomorrow, the latest that I'm gonna be on Monday through Friday. That much I'm tell you guys. Unless, like, I get down in the Discord, I noticed that you sent me a message, Nigel. I was like, oh wait, there's a thing here. Well, I didn't stay up late on purpose, dude. I, like, went to bed. I was in bed at 10:30 like I always do, and I just could not go to sleep. I could not do it. I don't know what that was about, but I'm definitely feeling it today. So I'm probably gonna go to bed, like, super early today, honestly. But I gotta get these videos uploaded and get this nonsense out of the day. I gotta go on my little run that I do every day, and yeah. But the stream may be starting slightly later. It depends on what time I wake up. Anywhere from 8:30 to 8 to 9 is when the stream will start. 100%. That's the hope. So we will be here unless the power goes out, and then I'll get in Discord and be like, power's out. Ain't happening today, boys. But other than that, we'll be here. Hopefully. Oh yeah, I'm gonna feel way better in the morning for sure. I'm rolling out of here. You guys stay safe out there. Have a good Monday. Try to put a smile on someone's face. It might change their whole day. And I'll see y'all tomorrow. Bright and early. Bright and early. Peace.